extend a heartfelt welcome to Vivian Stauffer.
Yes.
The CEO and Global President of Hamilton Watches. I want to thank you for coming all the way from Switzerland to visit us in Calgary. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be here in Calgary in such a sunny day as well.
Of course.
And to visit your beautiful store for the first time for me.
As we have you visiting us in Calgary, I would like to see first, and everybody always asks the question, if I may ask, what is it that you're wearing today?
So I am wearing something that the end consumer or the world or the watch enthusiast will discover in a couple of weeks, which is a new collection from our Khaki Field collection. So we are creating a new family called the Khaki Field Expedition. I decided to wear it today as a premiere for the visit here in Calgary.
Wonderful. Well, I know that we are going to talk about the piece that you're wearing and the new collection, but at the same time, I think I want to start off with a little bit of a history for those who know the brand, but also want to get a little bit more in-depth insight. I would love to know, as Hamilton has made some significant contributions to the watchmaking industry since 1892, if there's something that you wish to share with us, the most important contributions that Hamilton has made since then, is there anything that you'd like to share with us for our viewers who are learning about the brand Hamilton?
I could speak hours and hours about Hamilton and what has been made by the brand in the past and what is motivating us to try to create the same emotion and the same evolution for the future generation. But if I had to choose a couple of milestones, I would say within the watch industry, there is definitely three very, very big innovations that have been made by Hamilton between the late 50s and the early 70s. If I start with the 1957, the first electric watch of the world. Yeah. So the first time ever that a watch was powered by a battery, that's Hamilton. So that the ancestors or that the previous sports movement that became famous later on. And the Ventura was also a key piece, and it remains today the iconic product of Hamilton. That's this triangular watch, triangular shaped watch that was designed by Richard Arbib. Can be known as well as the Elvis watch. It can be known as the Men in Black watch, but I'm sure we're going to talk about movie as well. But that's, I would say, within the watchmaking industry, this first electric watch was a big milestone. The second one I would say was the first digital watch, 1970, called the Pulsar at that time, and that the first time ever that the watch was given in a digital way, and that's two things that forever will remain the first in the world, and that was, I would say, even kind of disruptive in the watchmaking industry, and that's something we are proud of. And the third one would be, I would say, the Calibre 11. When Hamilton purchased in the 60s the movement company called Buren, they had a joint venture with Heuer and Breitling and Hamilton to develop a first automatic chronograph movement. Some people are going to say that Zenith did the first one with the El Primero, which was the first one presented at Baselworld, but the first one on the market was a Hamilton watch in 1970 as well.
And so since then, as we are going back through history with what we now have experienced in the past 4 years, the surge of influencers and individuals who are getting into the world of watchmaking. And I also find that during COVID times, that there's a new market that is interested in the brand of watches as a whole. But if I may ask, as we go through that history, and since COVID, how has Hamilton evolved since the past 3 years?
One of the value of Hamilton is to try to be different. That's what motivates the brand, is to be a little bit different in this traditional world of Swiss-made watchmaking, and I think we perform quite well. So we went through the COVID, pretty easily, I would say. We continue to grow. We were already quite strong online. With the first e-commerce platform was open for Hamilton in 2013, HamiltonWatch.com in the US. So we were already quite trained and understanding the digital world. So that's something that was good and helped us to face the situation. But if I take the last 4 years, we launched in 2020 the PSR, which was the celebration of the first digital watch I was talking before. So the 1970, the Pulsar. So 2020, 50 years later, we recreated this watch that was a disruptive product, an amazing product in 1970, and it was again in 2020 very good sellers and very well appreciated by our customers. So we brought something new during the COVID period, which was really good. We had amazing project in the movie industry as well. And I would say that last year was a very big year for Hamilton as we celebrated our 130th anniversary.
Yes, congratulations.
Thank you. And we didn't make just one piece. So we took this year, because 130 is a baby in the watchmaking industry.
Fair enough.
So we created for each collection something specific. So in the Khaki Field, we brought in titanium cases. If I talk about the American Classic, we came with a limited edition, a pocket watch that goes back to the railroad, the beginning of Hamilton. We did the small Murph, Murph 38. That was a request from our end consumers. So we listened to our audience. So it was a very, very interesting year. And this year it continued exactly the same way. We had already 3 projects with movie since the beginning of the year.
Yes.
The first one was a Chinese movie, the first ever prop watch made outside of Hollywood for Hamilton. Mm-hmm. So once again, it's a premiere for us. It's going to be forever the first one. Then we had a big promotion with Indiana Jones wearing one of our watch, and more recently, a few weeks ago with Oppenheimer,
yes,
using historical pieces of Hamilton. So the last 4 years have been very, very interesting and showed that whenever we put all our efforts to tell a story with our product, then the audience is very, very motivated to enter into the brand value, and that's what we try to do.
Well, one, I have to commend the brand Hamilton because, as you said, the brand offers so much history by being the first, the premier, the premier of whether it's movements, whether it's calibers, whether it's just even getting into different segments. But also, I have to say that I'm actually very appreciative when the small Murph was announced and we had that sneak peek of seeing something was happening. A lot of people were proud and actually honored to have a watch brand listen to what the people were wanting. So it's a commendable act of being, creating a piece that was as famous as when the Murph did come out, but then a couple of years later when the small Murph was released, our customer base absolutely went crazy for it because that's what they were looking for. But I commend Hamilton for being a part of a rich history as well. So you may say that we're only 130 years old, but in that 130 years, what Hamilton has been able to accomplish has actually been quite remarkable. That being said, though, and I always ask this of everyone, of the pieces that I like to introduce, but more importantly is I always ask the question, what's your favorite timepiece and notable timepieces that you wish to share as well, in addition to the Pulsar you talked about, but what's your favorite timepiece?
So my favorite timepiece for Hamilton, so the one that I am wearing on a daily basis when I don't have to represent the brand, or when my marketing department or PR manager are saying, okay, you have to wear that today. So whenever I can choose a watch, I take one of the Khaki Aviation. I am a pilot myself. I am
really?
Flying, and it creates the emotion with the product. So that's it. I love flying, and whenever I have a pilot watch, then there is this connection with the product that I love. So normally I'm wearing the Crosswind, the X-Wind, which is a 45 millimeter watch, so pretty big. Not within the today's trend, I would say. That is, we see that the trend is getting into a little bit smaller watches, but I'm still the old generation with maybe bigger watches. So I have this X-Wing, and especially the one that we launched a few years ago with this camouflage dial and this sand PVD case. So that's the one that whenever I can wear whatever I want, I take that.
That's the one that you choose.
That's the one I choose.
Fair enough. And it's interesting because in Calgary, our market is, we have the customer base that does, as you say, going with the trend, smaller dials, smaller cases, but the majority of our customer base actually does appreciate that larger case size, above a 42 millimeter. So as you talk about the X-Wind, it's a piece that has done very well for us. We actually have a large aviation school, and there's a lot of individuals who are in the pilot industry that are from Calgary, so they do appreciate a good pilot's watch, and the Crosswind is a beautiful piece.
It's a beautiful piece, and there is a function.
And it's
so it's not just
form.
a pilot watch that you take the basic design that represents a pilot watch, but it has a. We like to put a function in it. It can be the crosswind, it can be the converter. So we have different models, a little bit more technical, but at least there is a function that creates the link with the world of aviation. On top of course, all the partnership that we have, especially Pete McLeod, that he's a Canadian pilot, and that we are partnering with since quite a few years. So it's not just to using an environment, but it's really to supporting the environment and to get the feedback and the know-how of this world, and to integrate this emotion into our product.
So as we talk about an individual who's a pilot, there's also the other side, the adventurer.
Yeah.
And so we're really excited because what we have here is a collection that at this point is the only one in Canada, but more importantly is the new collection, the Khaki Field Expedition, for the adventurer, the individual who looks to no boundaries. Could you tell us a little bit more about this particular collection, the new launch of the Khaki Field Expedition?
Yeah, so and you are a big fan of Hamilton, so you know everything about the collection, but we have six collections of Hamilton, and 3 of them being the khakis. We have the khaki aviation, we have the khaki navy, and we have the khaki field. This is coming from our history. During the Second World War, we supply watches only for the American soldier. We totally stopped to produce watches for the end consumer. So more than 1 million watches have been made for the army.
Wow.
And there is this strong link within the khaki families, still linked with the military world. So one of our best sellers, or I would say very strong DNA Hamilton product, is the Khaki Field Mechanical 38 millimeter. But you don't touch such a product. This product is the DNA of Hamilton. That's a product that has to remain forever like this. But we see that the Khaki Field has something else to offer. So that's why we decided to work on a new Khaki Field and to take it out a little bit of this military constraint, military world. And the Khaki Field Mechanical 38 has pretty long lugs. Of course, when you have to produce 1 million watches, you don't make the ergonomy of the product or the finishing, the brush, the finishing of the case was made as it was an industrial work.
Of course.
So we decided to rework a little bit the case and to come with this Khaki Field Expedition and to give an outdoor, an adventure touch of this product with staying within the true value of the Khaki Field. And that's why we come with a big new family within the Khaki Field, so the Khaki Field Expedition in 2 sizes, 37 and 41.
So when we created the 37, or when Hamilton created the...
But you can say we.
We can say we.
You can say we because you are a Hamilton fan, and we listen to the fan, and I will explain you as well what has been made on this product based on the comments of on the Hamilton fans.
So I see what we have here is difference in size, also within different colors. But if you want to go through the collection, if you wouldn't mind, for our guests, if you want to explain the differences between what you've created and what was the thought process to come up with what we have here.
Yeah, so we came with 2 sizes. So I'm wearing today the 41 millimeter. As I said, I like bigger watches, so when if I had to wear one between the 37 and 41, by definition it would be the biggest one of the 2. So it did the 41, and I think it fit better on my wrist. So we decided to come with a 2 color. What we have done compared to a basic Khaki Field is to clean a little bit the dial, to remove the 17, 18, 19, 20 in the inner part of the dial. That that is something that is needed in the military world.
Okay.
We totally reworked the case to make it a little bit shorter, the lug to lug, and as I was saying, we listen to the customers. Many customers are saying, yeah, the Khaki Field is nice, but you are missing a little bit the anti-reflective is missing, the screw-down crown is missing.
Yes.
So in this evolution of the Khaki Field, we bring a screw-down crown. We have anti-reflective coating on the crystal, and what we added to give this outdoor touch, or adventurous touch, we added a turning bezel with the cardinal points, so north, south, west, east.
Yes.
Because only with the watch, if you are out there, and if you see the sun, you can find the north.
You can find the north with the sun. Exactly. Yeah. So as I've had a chance to look at the watches, I've had to try them on, and as you mentioned, you wore the 41. I'm of the same boat. I also decided to wear the 41 millimeter because it's something that's quite comfortable for me. I'm used to it as well. The other aspect of it is you chose which color dial?
I took the white one.
The white.
I took the white one.
Very clean.
Very clean, strong contrast.
Yes.
So that's why I chose the white one. But I would have been hesitating with the blue one, but I'm quite happy because you are wearing
yes.
the blue one that fit with your outfit today,
Exactly.
and that would have fit with the outfit I have, but it was not available when I joined in.
I think I have a connection if you need to have. But more importantly, I also know that as we have the collection here today, you came to Calgary, but the initial mission was to go to Banff.
Yeah.
Now, if I may ask, and I was very curious about this, of all the cities, of all the countries in the world, what made you choose Banff, Alberta, Canada?
The decision was taken quite a few months ago, where we were looking around the world. Okay, we have to give this outdoor touch, we have to give this adventurous. So, of course, you start thinking about the national park around, but we wanted to have this North American feeling of the area. I mean, we could have done it in Switzerland. Huh?
Sure.
Switzerland, we have mountains, we have beautiful lakes,
exactly.
We have glacier,
yes.
Exactly the same as what you have here, but you still don't have exactly the same feeling or emotion than in North America. So we went around the different national parks, and then we decided to do it in Canada. It's easy as well for our guests to come in. It's not too far away from Calgary.
Yes.
There is an international airport, and we were sure that the Banff National Park would offer everything that we would need for this event, and I can tell you that it was a beautiful event and quite surprising to see how fast the weather can change.
Of course.
I think in a day we had everything. Every 30 minutes we had different things. We've been to Lake Moraine, we've been to Bow Lake, we've been to the ice field, and in every location we had a totally different environment, and
yes.
I think that it was exactly what we needed for the launch of this collection.
For our guests who are from Calgary know what Banff is, but also at the same time for those that are listening that are curious about Banff, it is a national park, very, very vibrant, but also it's only an hour's drive away from Calgary, and I know a lot of international recognition knows of Banff. So one, thank you for choosing Banff of all the places in the world to choose Banff. So thank you for choosing our neck of the woods. As we are excited to have the new launch with the Khaki Field Expedition, always, my followers always ask, what's next? What do we have to, as the brand is evolving, what do we envision in the upcoming years?
So we are working quite well in advance. So we have already a lot of projects in the pipeline. Of course, I'm never going to disclose anything that I'm not allowed to. So I cannot give you something that would be a wow, because we have to keep as well and to manage a launch of a new project. But the strength of Hamilton is definitely in the movie industry.
Yes.
So we have few projects in the pipeline. Some of them are having some delay, because with the current situation in Hollywood on the strike, it is affecting as well the whole project. So we have to keep this flexibility and to see when we can announce it. On the gaming,
yes,
I think Hamilton entered in the world of gaming in 2021 with Far Cry 6.
Yes,
that's something that we wanted to enter in because we saw the quality of the game, the immersive aspect of a game is as at the level of a movie, and we say, okay, we have to enter into this world. So we are learning, and we have quite few projects for the coming years as well, with the world of gaming. So that's a few things that we will continue to do, exactly what we are doing up to now, and I would say that Khaki is slowly getting out of this military touch, so you can potentially expect that in other Khaki families we will also give this adventurous touch on the collection.
So people are hearing it first, that the adventurous touch is going to be the wave of where Hamilton is going to look forward to. But as you talk about movie collaborations, and of course with what's going on in the current climate in Hollywood, and you also, Hamilton was the first premiere as well, not just in film and cinema, but in the video games. You talk about Far Cry 6. Special collaborations in terms of working further with the gaming industry, is that something that Hamilton still wants to continue to pursue?
We want to continue. It's a different world.
It is.
Us. I mean, we have to learn. We start from scratch. Hollywood is easy because we just capitalize of over 90 years of collaboration. With the first movie was 1932, so that's something that was already in. So we just have to capitalize on it to continue to have the relationship. But to start a new project with the gaming industry is totally new, and the gaming is not centralized in one country or one region. It's all around the world. You have very big Japanese studio, you have big Chinese studio, very big in Canada as well with Ubisoft.
That's correct.
The first one that we did.
Yes.
In the US. So that's why we have to get in contact with all these different studios to start to create this relationship. So.
Well, that is wonderful. Well, first and foremost, I want to thank you again for coming all the way from Switzerland to Alberta, visiting Calgary and Banff. But I want to thank you for allowing us at Calgary Jewellery and our viewers, who will see as well, to be able to showcase and highlight the new novelties, that this is the only one available in Canada to show off. But I'm honored to have you be here with us today. And I want to thank you for your time to share with us your insight of the brand, what was, what is, and what will be. And I believe everyone is excited to see what Hamilton comes up with in the future, but very excited to see the new Khaki Field Expedition.
Thank you for welcoming. Thank you for hosting me here. It's a real pleasure, and I'm sure that we're going to spend a few more minutes to talk around the brand, what is needed as well, because our partners, our retailers are important as well.
Thank you.
As everyone is taking part of the development of the brand with the Murph 38, with all the other. We listen to the audience. We have to understand what people are expecting for the brand, and I think that this is the strength of the brand and the big value that we try to continue for the future.
Correct, and it's a thing for the Canadian market. They understand the value that comes from Hamilton, so in the price points that you are referring to, but our customer base absolutely loves the value that Hamilton offers.
So we're never going to make any compromise on the product for any reasons.
Wonderful. Thank you again.
Thank
Vivian.
you. Thank you, Jonathan.
It's a pleasure.
Very nice.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I want to thank you all for joining us today on this very special interview with Vivian Stauffer, CEO of Hamilton. Today's been an exciting time being able to showcase, talk about the brand Hamilton, but also highlight the new collection, the Khaki Field Expedition. If you have any questions, if you wish to come down and view the collection, you are more than welcome to come visit us at Calgary Jewellery. But if you wish, you're also welcome to send us a comment or DM on social media. If you have any questions, we look forward to answering them. But wishing you all the best. I want to thank Vivian for joining us today, and have a wonderful day. Thank you, guys.